Two races to go here in Season 6 with the RBR Maritime Group, and you're looking at one of those two nights. Welcome, everybody, back to Verdane TV here at Langley Speedway. Going to do a little bit of racing, 150 laps on the docket. Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth alongside me. Going to be the wingnut himself, Ashton Reekie. We got some excitement building. We're getting close to the end of the season, getting close to crowning ourselves a champion. How we feeling tonight?
Oh, we're feeling good. It's nice to be back again. I seem to be doing a bi-weekly announcing here. It seems I have to work every second Wednesday or something comes up. So apologize for that, but it's nice to be back and nice to see some cars on track already.
Little heat race action here to kick things off. Find out where everybody's going to start in the big show here tonight. 150 laps on the docket, and it's all brought to us by Parkside Pub and Smokehouse in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, or Halifax, HS, NX, and NS. I think that's right. I'm not from the area, so help me out here.
yeah, it's Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, so it's in the HRM in the Halifax area. It's a great little place. I was actually there 3 weeks ago. I had just found the place again through these boys here. They had mentioned it, and I went and tried it out. Really good stuff. So yeah, it's nice to see them on board as a sponsor.
Absolutely. Give those guys a big shout out. I was taking a peek at the menu before we went on air, which is always something I really shouldn't do because we almost missed the start of the show because I had to order Grubhub to get in any sense. Taking a look at the menu, I don't think they'll deliver down here to southern New England, but man, I wish they did because little tater tot poutine sounds really, really good right now.
I mean, if you want, I can jump off the headset here and I can start driving. It might be cold by the time I get there.
It definitely might be. There's a boat ride and all sorts of stuff involved. 10 laps on the docket. Suggs and Roma up in the top. New colors for that 33 car there you made mention before we got on air. Looking good for the 33 car. Trying to make that topside work early.
Yeah, absolutely, and it doesn't look like it's quite there yet, but we have seen it come around in the past at this track, so something most definitely we'll be looking for late in the race as he sends himself single file and nose to tail. Looks like throughout pretty much the whole field right now as Roma, Suggs, Drake, Negus, Murphy, and McKenzie are all kind of there. As you see, Drake kind of jump out of line there. I'm not sure if he got loose and just had to save it or if he might be trying something to maybe get that topside to come in a little sooner.
Live all over the internet here this evening on the YouTube page, over on the Facebook page. We're live on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/strictly94. Over on TikTok, we're over on Twitter. Be sure to follow us and like us and subscribe to us all over the place on all the social media outlets. Get all that information that you need to get that racing fix that we all so desire. And speaking of getting in touch with some of the racers, with some of these names and color schemes and paint schemes and personalities that we've met here on Verdane TV, we're starting something a little bit new, the brand new Verdane.tv. You can check it out now. It's not quite finished just yet, but what we're looking to do, we've seen here in the RBR Maritimes group, we've seen in the NEP group, Tim's Corner Motorsports, Liberty Racing, a lot of drivers involved with real racing in one way or another, whether it's behind the wheel or working on a car, maybe being a tech at a racetrack or a photographer like our buddy Ashton here with Wingnut Productions. We want to get perspectives, different perspectives of the real racing content. We want to see different race recaps and photos and videos and different things of that nature. And we want to basically give all the fans out there of Verdane TV an opportunity to see what some of these quote-unquote sim racers are doing at the real racetracks and all the different things that kind of transfer over. We want to bridge that gap basically here with Verdane TV between that real racing community and the sim racing community. And I think that's a pretty good idea to have kind of a main central hub where a lot of these drivers can kind of plug in some information. Taking the white flag, white rag here, the 83 car, picking up from where he left off last week. Very, very strong. Suggs, though, going to take a peek down below, all the way down in the apron, try and get that car to turn. He's actually going to get it. Checkered flag in the air. Brett Suggs takes that 33. He steals one from Roma.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think whether it be the 33 or the 83, as Roma gives him a little tap afterwards to a little how do you do, that right there, they just got a whole book of 100 pages on what to do and what not to do coming to the checkered flag when it matters most at the end of the night.
Yeah, a lot of racetracks you can get into 3 and 4, kind of ease back just a little bit, and maybe kind of just coast. But here at Langley Speedway, Brett Suggs knows he can use that apron down on the bottom side to get that car to turn just a little bit better, and that's exactly what he did. Stole the heat race victory and got himself a pretty good qualifying spot here once we kick things off at the big show. Kicking off heat race number 2. Another Roma up front, going to be Travis Roma this time in the 38 car, Craig Tully in the 50. Going to start out on the outside.
Yeah, and this is another stacked heat. I'm gonna call it. The first one had quite a few big names, and the one I'm noticing right now is the 36 of Fougere starting 9th. I don't know if he just had a rough qualifier or if he's got some strategy planned here.
Speaking of strategy, how about that loud paint scheme? Loud paint scheme of the number 29 of Danny Fitch, the Major Melon Mountain Dew ride. That's still one of my favorites. I love the look of this paint scheme. It's super loud. Lets everybody know that you drink Mountain Dew, and I guess you like melons. But always cool to see that bright green 29 car out on track. And it's always easy to pick the 29 cars, or the 29 fans, rather, from out in the crowd wearing that bright green and drinking all that Mountain Dew. But the lights are off. The iRacing pace car getting ready to rock and or roll a second time here tonight, getting ready to kick things off for heat race number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to come back to that paint scheme because I haven't had a chance to really talk about it. But I've noticed it all year, and it's most definitely one that stands out. One that would, in my opinion, most definitely, as there's contact early. So I'm going to change the conversation here as Tully goes up and then comes across to Fougere. Tough start for Fougere tonight. And back to the paint scheme, who has avoided all that calamity, it seems. He would most definitely be one of my top runners and top picks for the best appearing car in the series.
Greg Tully getting a little bit sideways there on the start, getting it all sorted out, using a good friend, the 36 machine of Fougere, to get it all sorted out. 8 wheels turning better than 4 here at Langley Speedway, and that's how you get it done. A couple of drivers a little bit further on back in the field, going to have to try and make up a little bit of distance here in the final 8 laps of this heat race, but you also have to remember we've got 150 big ones on the board here for the big show tonight. So lots of time to get up towards the front and lots of time to get the damage virtually repaired on these race cars.
Yeah, and a lot cheaper too.
Whole lot cheaper.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about our sim rig, right? I mean, they're a little cheaper, so you don't have to worry about giving that extra shot after the race or something like that. But we still got Roma up front with Black, Tufts, and Cassidy following in suit, and Hayes kind of rounding up the top 5 there. They're single file now. Tufts kind of seems to be putting the pressure on Black, maybe learning, maybe just taking his time, and as he taps the wall there coming out, so we'll have to remind him that the walls don't move at racetracks.
4 laps to go as they cross the stripe, the top 3, bumper to bumper to bumper. You can see Tufts backing up just a little bit. I believe that's a new paint scheme for the 00 here as well. The Brett Suggs Racing and Marketing Group always looking sharp here at the virtual racetrack. And you can see the 00 hooked up and has a little bit of distance to try and cover between he and Dylan Black here with 3 laps to go in this heat race. But we made mention this both of these heat races pretty much have gone green for the entirety of the 10 laps. So it really kind of gives these drivers an opportunity to feel the cars out, see what the tires are going to do in 10 laps. But as these runs start to get longer and longer throughout the race, and we get some of those green flag racing, those green flag stretches that we're so accustomed to seeing with this RBR Maritime group, it's going to change the way the car handles. It's going to be getting a little bit looser, a little bit tighter throughout the race, and you can see the 00 car getting around the 08 of Black. Going to try and set his sights on Travis Roma. He is already driving off into the sunset. He's going to come out of turn number 4, take that checkered flag, give that trophy over to Travis Roma.
Yeah, I believe now we're just going to go into that. They usually give themselves a little bit of practice, a little bit of a warm-up here, because I believe that's all the guys we have for tonight. A solid field, though, again, of 18 to 19 cars. It's been like that all season. It's been a lot of fun to watch these guys. I can't believe we're coming down to the end already.
Yeah, quick little programming note. Going to be taking next week off here with the RBR Maritime Group and then coming back in 2 weeks' time right back here at Langley for the championship show, just to kind of give the drivers an opportunity to clear their heads a little bit. Going to be doing a little bit of an exhibition race with all of the drivers here in the RBR Maritime Group, and Well, we don't have a broadcast next week, so might very well try and jump up behind the wheel here in the old Verdane HQ. We'll see if this production truck's got any go left in it, and we'll see what happens next week. Be sure to check us out over on social media. If we do go hop in, you'll be able to see it over on Twitch, twitch.tv/strictly94. And a shout out to everybody that's tuned in here tonight. We've alluded to it. We're live all over the internet here tonight. We're over on the Verdane TV Facebook page, over on the Verdane TV YouTube page, as well as that Twitch account, twitch.tv/strictly94. Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. in here, pushing the buttons, yelling into the microphone, and Ashton Reiki from Wingnut Productions here. And Ashton, we've got a couple of minutes here, 3.5 minutes or so left to go here in this final warm-up. And we know we've got the new Verdane TV, kind of giving ourselves a little bit of a focus to kind of shift gears, so to speak, from the sim racing into the real racing. I'm going to be at the track a lot more this year. I'm hoping to get the endurance car going over at Waterford Speed Bowl right up the road here. But what's going on with Wingnut Productions? I know you guys are kind of penciling in the schedule for the real racing stuff. What have you got going on?
Yeah, I've got. I think as of right now, like Tim from Tim's Corner TV does, we make up our little schedules here in our spreadsheets. And as of right now, I believe I have 34 race events that I'll be attending. Just here in the Maritimes, I do have a couple back of the mind plans to try and get across the borders and maybe hit up the Oxford 250 and. Maybe hit up the Snowball Derby this year also. So some to add towards the end of the year, but we're gearing up. I'm ready to go. I know Tim this weekend is at our local outdoor sports and RV show with Scotia Speed World. He's got a couple guys going down there on Friday night. I think it is Friday and Saturday to do some interviews. So we're gearing up. We're getting ready to go. It's I can't wait for this season to start. There's so many good things that have come out. From some management changes and just some rule changes, some extra purse monies for some of the big series around here. So a lot of rumbling and talking, and I've got the cameras all ready to go. They haven't sat much this year. I got involved with some other stuff with Wingnut Productions, with doing some sports events. So usually my cameras sit for about 4 to 5 months, and I do a couple nature shots here and there just to keep myself sharp. But they haven't had that opportunity this year, so. I'm ready to go back to the cars turning left that I can predict where they're going, because I'm doing this volleyball thing and I can't predict anything. That ball comes at you really fast through a small camera lens.
Yeah, at least with motorsports, you can't quite predict what's going to happen, but you got a general idea where they're going to be. So it's makes it just a little bit easier than a more dynamic sport of volleyball. And well, that's why I've only experimented with a couple of sports physically. One of them is racing. Not to say that you don't have to be athletic, but you don't have to really move around too quick. I'm not really built for moving around too quick.
I mean, I've got an ongoing joke that's not suitable for the Verdane TV there, but I'll have to message that later. But it's one of the only sports that I ever got truly involved in, other than the sport of hockey, being Canadian. But I'm past those days. I've surpassed the beer league even, and one shift of that and I'm usually tapping out. So yeah, it's usually I've got a concrete wall in between me and the motor vehicle that's usually heading my direction, so I feel a little safer at the racetrack than most. Again, growing up, being in the race car, I can usually look through the window at the driver's hands and figure out where he plans on going or where he hopes to be going, whether that's what happens or not.
I actually got a good honor to meet up with a good buddy of mine and a friend here at Verdane TV. Been doing the whole sim racing broadcasting since the word go. Really one of the godfathers of sim racing broadcasting, Kevin England, and he also does a lot of photography at the racetrack. And it's crazy to see just how intense it is. Some people say, hey, you can just get a good picture from your cell phone, or we'll check on somebody's Facebook page to try and get a good photo of this race car. And you really need to have somebody that's out there that knows racing, that follows it, that feels it, that knows what's going to happen. And it was really cool to watch Kevin take those photographs because he could, just the sights and the sounds and the smells and everything that's going on at the racetrack. The photographs really tell a story. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of them. We got a lot of cool stuff going on here in the Northeast, Southern New England, lots of cool stuff going on in the Maritimes, and lots of cool stuff going on right here at Verdane TV. And we're going to kick things off here, getting ready to rock and or roll for the Parkside Pub and Smokehouse 150 here at Langley Speedway, the final race before the championship race here in Season 6 for the RBR Maritime Group. And how about this? The 33 car of Brett Suggs going to take the pole once again this season. Travis Roma going to start on his outside in that 38 car.
Yeah, sitting right behind Brett Suggs up at the front is the number 83 of Chris Roma. And on his outside, the 00 of Caden Tufts.
A little bit further on back, the Rash. Up in the top 5 once again, Rational Richard Drake in the Laker News 141 machine. Dylan Black, strong heat race. He's going to start the 08 car out in 6th.
Starting the next row back out in 7th is Conrad Murphy in the 89 machine, that beautiful bright green and black machine. And on his outside, it looked like it was supposed to be the 13 of Dave Cassidy there he goes. He's going to roll up into that position. And then we'll follow on back in the 9th position with Scott Negus in the 39. And rounding out your top 10 is the 17 of Brad Hayes.
On the outside looking in, Wade Craswell going to start P11. Noel Fougier going to start in 12th. Rounding out the field here, Craig Tully starting in P13. Check that, Derek Gates 13, Craig Tully 14. Kenny McKenzie, Danny Vitch in that 29 car, Terry Duguay in the 14, John Byron and Hayden Christensen starting shotgun on the field. Actually looks like that 24 car still parked in the garage area, not going to make the start of this one. But that gives us 18 strong here at Langley for 150 laps on the board. We're going to be doing a little bit of racing here, and once again, all brought to us by the fine folks over there at Parkside Pub Smokehouse. 150 laps on the docket, and man, hopefully this race gets done pretty quick. Green flag in the air. Maybe we'll stop by for some of that tater tot poutine. Take a look at Suggs. He knows what's going on. He's after that poutine. He's got himself a 3-4 car lead over the Romas.
Yeah, absolutely, and I saw him right on that start. He knows how to get around this track very well. We've seen it in the past, and he got his almost all 4 tires down on the apron there to get that car to rotate early on in this run, something you usually see them do late in the run to help that rotation. But he's using it early to try and get that lead stretched out, hopefully go green to checkered. But I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but we can all hope so, right?
You can see a little side-by-side battle. Fougier down on the bottom side in the 36, going to take the position from the 38. A little bit sideways, Dave Cassidy down into the grass. It looks like we're going to stay green, going to gather it back up, get back onto the racetrack. Good news for Dave Cassidy and the rest of the field here. Is Caden Tufts right where he qualified. Richard Drake in front of him. He's gained 2 spots, moving himself onto the podium right now. He's got his sights set on that 83 car.
Yeah, one of the guys that has had a great year. And a great season, I should say, in the 141 Laker News machine. Right up front, most of the races has just had some bad luck towards the end, and but he's put himself in a position every race that he's been out there. So another situation, up 2 spots onto the podium position right now, early on in the race. I hope he can put that Laker News car in victory lane.
And you can see starting to get things kind of sorted out here. 7 laps into this one. Single file throughout the top 10. Good run for Scott Negus in the 39 car. Craig Tully, good recovery from that heat race. He's up 4 spots right into the top 10. Wade Creswell currently on the outside looking in there in 11th in that 67 car.
Pretty single file as we talk about it right now. Not much going on for battles, but it's one of those tracks that when the action picks up, it picks up in bunches, and usually we can't keep up with the side-by-side racing. But it's nice to see these guys going nose to tail, getting some laps in. They know the season's coming to a close, right? So points are a big deal, especially with only 1 and a bit races to go, seeing as we've already taken the green to this one. And every point matters at this point, so it's almost a survival of the fittest in these last couple of races.
Travis Roma slated to potentially take over the points battle here tonight. Tanton Woldridge, the current points leader, not in the field here tonight, and already has used a drop week on week 6 there back at Hickory, where he did not start the event. Top 5s for every race except for the season opener back at Lanier. Travis Roma second in points, 10 points back. He's got a really good potential here to try and make up some points on the leader heading in to the last race, and he's got a drop week of 19th place back at the first race, but top 10s throughout the rest of the season, and man, oh man, has he been consistent. Got a little bit of work to do here tonight, started in the top 5, dropped a few spots back here to 7th, but that 38 car, strong contender for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another one of those, knowing coming into the race, without Tanton Woolridge being there, every point matters, right? So even finishing where he'd be sitting right now back in 7th, it's points that would get him closer to that front position, if not up into that front position. So, he might be in the back of his mind, all you got to do is finish this one better than 19th, which would be pretty easy to do, seeing as we've only got the 18 cars out on track right now, and you advance in some way, right? So he might be playing that in the back of his mind, right? Run this race out as long as possible. Maybe make a couple great moves at the end, something last minute to try and gain a few extra points. But he can pretty much sit and ride in this one and be comfortable going into the championship race.
Richard Drake up in the points battle as well. 2 points actually behind Travis Roma coming into this one. So the points battle even tighter than we initially thought here. Taking a look at the drop weeks, worst finish for Richard Drake all season long is 7th 3 times, and hasn't got himself a victory yet. Has come into the broadcast trailer after the race with a couple of podium finish interviews, so that's always fun to see. But Richard Drake doing some work here at Langley, running up in the top 3 and looking after that points championship. Good opportunity to get that trophy, maybe even a couple of those championship trophies. I bet it would look good over there at the Laker News HQ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know Mr. Laker News Pat Healy would be quite excited to see that car not only in victory lane but with a championship, and it'd be cool for myself too, because I believe Mr. Drake is coming to the season opener at Scotia Speed World, so I could tell him to bring the trophy so that maybe I could hold it and feel what it's like to be a champion, since I don't often get those.
Yeah, it was always cool for me back in the Verdane racing days, back when we were running super speedway leagues, picking up the trophies and the championship belts and all the different plaques and things like that, being able to kind of hold it in your hand. But the worst part about that is giving it away. That's happened multiple times. Always cool to reward those that have gone out and earned it. And man, these RBR guys have put on some phenomenal races this season and in seasons past here at Verdane TV, really showing iRacing world what these super late models can do. And with the announcements that have been pouring out of iRacing HQ up in, where are they, Boston? Somewhere up there in Massachusetts. Man, we got the Cars Tour late models. We're going to be getting those scanned. You can probably thank Dale Earnhardt Jr. for that. We're going to get some Cars late models in here on the iRacing service. You bet we're going to see those here on Verdane TV coming up in the near future. And another announcement that was made today, one of the best eras, I think, in the Cup Series was the early 2000s, right around the 2003 era, where you had the Monte Carlos, just getting out of the Lumina era into the Monte Carlos and kind of introducing the Impala just a little bit, and then the other manufacturers too. They had cars in there too. I only know the Chevys, but one of the biggest racing games, sim racing games, NASCAR Racing 2003 season came out in that era, and we're getting that Cup car with iRacing. Made the announcement today, and we've already got some wheels and deals going on for Tuesday night's league. Liberty Racing, they want to try and swap out one of their final races here for their championship with that car. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of cool stuff coming out of the iRacing network. And man, if you want to get it, check it out. If you wanted to see what it's like to drive one of these virtual race cars, check out iRacing.com. I believe they're still doing a 40% off new membership thing, so you can get in there, turn some laps, and really see what this is all about. Terry Duguay in the 14 car, going to be the first victim here to go one lap down, and you can see goes up on that high side. Plenty of rooms for the leader left down on the bottom side. Brett Suggs still using that apron down on the bottom side, little Stafford Speedway trick, getting at least 2 of those wheels down on the bottom of the racetrack and really getting the car to turn. You can see 8/10, almost 9/10 of a second now over Roma in that 83 car.
Now, Paul, I'm going to come back to the Gen 4 because I did a quick Google search there. I'm going to date both of us here, but this is when Tony Stewart was running the Home Depot Pontiac car.
That was the first manufacturer he got a NASCAR Cup Series championship in.
That is correct, and also they had the Dodge number 19 that was, I believe.
Oh, Evernham Motorsports, Casey Kane. Yep,
right.
Who was in the 19? Oh man,
I mean,
Bill Elliott, wasn't it?
It was Mr. Elliott towards the end. I don't know who finished off in it, but yes, I'm looking at these pictures and I'm seeing Greg Biffle in one of the cars, and Matt Kenseth, all guys that if anybody's younger watching this probably has no idea who we're talking about.
It was almost it's almost NASCAR's attitude era kind of deal, because the Coca-Cola family racing kind of got together, with like Newman and Earnhardt and all those guys, all the DEI guys. Steve Park was up in the mix, and Kenseth was just starting out. Gordon was 3 championships in. It was in 97, 98, 2000 and 2001, I think. 4-time champ, so it's like Jimmy Johnson was just kind of getting started. Really, it's one of the more entertaining, I think, eras of the NASCAR world. It wasn't too crazy commercialized yet. Still a lot of racing. The drivers still had their personalities, their attitudes, so to speak, and it was just a really cool time in racing, and a really cool time, a really cool style of race car as well. So really looking forward to that. I know I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited too. I mean, that's when Carl Edwards was in the 99, still doing his black backflips off the door window.
Yeah, 100%, and working lap number 38. Got to give a quick shout out to the Grubhub driver, Michael. Michael hooking it up, picking up the Wendy's here for the Vidane HQ. I'm sorry, man. I'm looking at that tonight's sponsor, man. Their menu, it's killing me. It's like, man, I did have an early dinner tonight, but we had to get something. We don't have tater tot poutine down here, but we got a baked potato coming with some chili on it, maybe a chicken sandwich or something. So shout out to Michael, the Grubhub driver, and man, these guys are stretching it out just a little bit. Brett Suggs kind of driving off into the sunset. You can see he's got a sight set on I believe that's the 85 of McKenzie. They're the 17th place car. Dave Cassidy up there in front. So those guys going to be racing for position. Might not pull over as quickly and as well, just kidding. Kenzie's going to go down on the bottom side and say, yep, go ahead, no problem. Dave Cassidy gives him a little bit of room to stretch his legs just a little bit. Going to try a little bit to kind of stay on the lead lap here, because you don't want to go a lap down, but you also don't want to affect the outcome of the race or the championship hunt for that 33 car.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to interfere too much with it, but fully respectable to try and stay out in front there. And as you see going into one, he understood it was time to move over. It was time to let them by and get back on the throttle once you have a gap behind them there. There's 2 seconds back to Drake, so you might be able to slide in there and get back on the throttle. But it's all respect, right? McKenzie's going to kind of pull him on a quick one there, and he slid in front of Drake before the 13 could, and he's going to get that position from him and kind of use that opportunity. So kind of sneaky on McKenzie's part, but it's something I would have tried.
Yeah, that's one of the little role reversal there. Usually you see the lead lap cars use the lap cars as a pick. This time we saw the lap cars use the lead lap cars as a pick. So sneaky little move there for the 85 car. McKenzie going to be the first car 1 lap down for now. Brett Suggs setting himself. Not for long. Yeah, Brett Suggs on a blistering pace up front. Next car in line. You can see about a straightaway away. Going to be that Major Mellon Mountain Dew number 29 car. That's going to be the 15th place car right now. And it's not to say that anybody towards the back of the pack is running slow or having any kind of issues or anything like that. It's just week after week. That 33 car, the Red Sox Racing and Marketing design, you can see giving a little kiss to the outside wall there. That 33 car is always bad fast here on Vidane TV, whether it's in the RBR Maritimes, the Tim's Corner Motorsport, wherever that 33 car may actually be running. And you can see running up towards the front, leading laps, doing what he do best. And we're getting close to the 50-lap marker here. Going to cross the stripe for lap number 59, just about a third of the distance in the books.
Yeah, and these long runs, green flag runs especially, is hard on the guys that might be conserving that extra little bit, right? They're going to get consumed quickly by the leaders that might not have that cleaner air in front of them. Right? You see Danny Veach. It's taken 4 laps to actually catch them. So it's not that, like you said, it's not that they're slow. It's that they're long green flag laps. Danny may have had a slip up early on in the race, right? That put him kind of in a back marker position. But now he's going to get passed by Brett Suggs. But it still took Brett Suggs 3 or 4 laps to get by him, as there's a gaggle of cars here, a mix of front contenders, and there's the 38 that we were talking about earlier. Here's the situation that I was saying earlier. At one point you just got to ride. You want to collect as many points in this race with Woolridge being out, and to get that, now you're kind of in a sandwich where you're kind of at risk of possibly getting spun out and being out early in this race and losing the opportunity at so many points that you could be gaining.
Last week's winner still solidly up in the top 5 as well. The double odd of Caden Tufts. New colors, I believe, this week. I can't remember between today and yesterday. I think that's a new paint scheme for the double zero.
He's always gone darker, but there's something different about that.
Yeah, always looking sharp, though, for sure, with that double zero car. And you can see last week's winner running in 4th. A little bit different strategy last week. We got rid of the heat races. We ended up running 200 laps for the feature, and the race officials knew that extra 50 laps on a set of tires would have kind of abused them a little bit. But we were given an opportunity for these drivers to come down pit road, get a set of tires at one point or another in the race, and just being able to do that, a lot of different strategies throughout the evening. And Caden Tufts coming on with that victory there. First of the season, I believe, for the double zero. A couple of second place and third place finished back earlier on in the season, but kind of mired back in 9th in points. Missed a couple of races earlier on in the season, but this guy's still setting it up, picking them up, putting them down. He's in the points, top 5 hunt for points here. The thing that really gets him, he missed 2 races. Every other race has been a top 5. All but 2 races have been first or second for Brett Suggs. Let's put it that way. Started out the season at Lanier with a 5th place finish. Wins at Hickory. Misses the 3rd race at Southern National. Comes back, wins at Lanier. Finishes 2nd at Oxford and Hickory. Comes back, wins again at Southern National. And then missed last week's race at Oxford. But man, oh man, Brett Suggs just really showing how consistent that 33 car is, and really would have been a danger to the championship if he was able to get those couple of starts that he missed throughout the season.
Yeah, and I got to say that I think Mr. Tufts was probably happy he took last week at Oxford out, because I believe Brett Suggs is one of the Oxford 250 runners every year. So we know in the real world, if he took any of those notes from the real world to the virtual world, he would have been hard to beat last week. And that's those 2 races that he's missed. He's been off in the IRL world, driving the real race car. So, I mean, I guess everybody picks their battles. I would go virtual racing over real racing. I'm kidding. I would not. I really wouldn't.
Well, on the current winter budget, we can barely afford to go virtual racing here at the HQ. But once things start to warm up and we get back into full swing, we got a lot of cool stuff going on as well. I don't see any super late model starts for old Strictly, but gonna be fun. Gonna be a lot of fun. We got the 1 start in the street stock division over at Stafford Motor Speedway. That's the big 250 weekend for y'all up in the Maritimes. So I guess my fault for picking the date, but man, what an exciting weekend that's going to be down here in New England. It's that Thursday night Thunder returning to ESPN. SRX kicking off their season at Stafford Motor Speedway. 10,000 seats in that place. Ain't one of them going to be used. It's going to be an absolute blast to check those guys out once again. The very next night, you get to see this guy, Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., making the return after a 3-year hiatus to the street stock division. Going to be jumping in the number 6 street stock sponsored by Vidane TV out of the rental race car fleet. Gary Spinato Jr., Paul Barricchio Jr. Really hooking it up, and it's cool. I get to race against Gary's kid this year, 3rd generation race car driver Alex Spinato. That's going to be a whole lot of fun, being able to kind of mix the Spinato and Strickland families together like that at the racetrack. Always a recipe for, well, disaster, but it's always a recipe for a good time. You can see Hayes going down a lap to our leader, Brett Suggs. But then that Saturday and Sunday, up to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Going to check out the Wheel and Tour Mod race, the Xfinity race on Saturday, the Cup race on Sunday, and then there's the Dirt Duels on Friday. Tim's Corner Motorsport, a big part of that. He's going to be sponsoring the Dirt Duels on Friday. I won't be there because I would rather race anything than watch racing. But you can see getting back to the racetrack here. Lots of cool stuff going on all over the place, and just really looking forward to getting out, supporting short track racing, and having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had mentioned to Tim, I forget when it was, that weekend that you're racing and we've got the 250 on, it'd be cool to do a quick Facebook or Twitch live, even for, a 20-minute span with video from both tracks. And be able to, talk to each other that the night of all the action, right? To show the people that are watching the facilities that we get to go and enjoy in our hometowns or within our hometown limits. There's for ourselves, there's 4 or 5 of them. From where I'm originally from in Ontario, same thing. There was 6 or 7 between dirt and asphalt tracks. And once you get to see them all, you just want to see more.
Yeah, and you never know who you'd end up bumping into at the racetrack, because at A&TV, lots of friends and at the racetrack, especially Stafford Motor Speedway being a home track for a lot of the New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Shift Marketing and Design Series that you see here on Thursday nights. A lot of those drivers call Stafford Motor Speedway their home track, so it's always kind of cool to walk through that facility, rocking an A&TV t-shirt, getting the high fives and the fist bumps, and not knowing who everybody is off the rip, but really cool to kind of meet those people and allow people to put the face to the name here. And you can see the 33 car getting underneath Cassidy there in the 13 car, still a couple of laps down, running in 16th right now. 13 drivers on the lead lap, just past halfway. Suggs is gone. Suggs is 2 seconds out in front. He heard Tater Tot Poutine, and he said, you know what? Let's get this race done as quick as possible. We're going to go green to the end, and I'm just going to lead every lap.
Yeah, and then he's not even going to stop for victory lane. He's just going to ask them to open the gate. He's going to drive all the way down to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and get himself a Tater Tot Poutine.
Be even cooler if there was a drive-through over there and get everything hooked up and drive on. Somebody in the passenger seat. Hey, is that Actane 93 you're wearing? Jeremy Mayfield. That's who it was in the 19 car. Jeremy Mayfield. Long-term storytelling, folks. Jeremy Mayfield used to drive for Evernham Motorsport. Bomb.
Wow. Did you have to Google
folks.
that, or did that just come
No, it just popped in. That's how my brain works. I don't understand. We're on Tater Tot Poutine, and now we're on a date with Jeremy Mayfield, who used to drive the 19 car. I have no idea. It's live TV, folks. That's what happens.
Oh, man, that's crazy. I figured for sure you Googled that.
I don't even know why it popped into my brain. I really don't. Sometimes I wonder. How about Fougere in the 36 car? Biggest mover of the race so far. Tied for the biggest mover. The 36 car up 8 spots, running in the 4th position. John Byron having a good run as well in the 57 ride, just getting in to the top 10. He's rocking that 10th position right now in the 57 car, looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I brought it back up early on, and where Noel Fougere, the French in me is coming out again, was starting in his heat race and had some rough luck even in the heat race there. And it's nice to see him making his way up into 4th. I want to say looking at a podium position, because we're still early on, although we're past the halfway point. Still lots can happen with the amount of laps that are left. And I don't count him out. I don't count anybody out this early on.
Except for this guy, Danny Vitch, parked down on pit road. Looks like might be done for the evening in the Major Mellon Mountain Dew number 29 ride. Tough break for that 29 crew. He's going to join Aiden Christensen in the garage area. Terry Duguay in the 14 car down another lap as the 141 gets down and around. You can see the 33 car of Suggs 2.5 seconds up, but he's caught the rest of the field. The 85 car McKenzie going to shoot up to the high side, let that 33 machine go, and you can see Suggs is up here driving through this lap traffic and still putting some distance in between he and that 83 car there in second.
Yeah, the distance he's pulled off is quite impressive for such a short track, and for who he has behind him. I really expected the 83 and the 141 to kind of be able to keep pace with him for most of this race. We've seen him pull away at the end of races with 20 to go or something like that, but he's done it right from the get-go tonight, and it's kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, you can see it's almost 3 seconds on back to Chris Roma. Richard Drake still in that third spot. He's got a little bit of a gap between he and Fougere back in fourth. Caden Tufts in the 00, last week's winner, holding on to fifth right now. But he's got Scott Negus right in behind Craig Tolley. This battle here for fifth, sixth, seventh, pretty spicy here. Travis Roma right up in the mix as well.
Yeah, that's a really good battle there. We're finally getting some nose-to-tail action, and Tully's really pushing on the 39, and he's going to let him save it. Are we going to stay green? That was the 39 going sideways. He keeps it straight. He keeps it green. That was just some tight racing, nose-to-tail, early checking up, and there's nothing really you could do. As we saw there, the U-House Designs. Yeah, I'm going to get it wrong every time. Instant replay.
Yeah, quick little green flag replay that we're able to do here now on Verdane TV. And you can see Negus was racing for the fifth position. Got a little bit sideways, got a little bump there from the 50 car of Tolley. And now he's in danger of going a lap down here in the 12th position. He's got the 67 of Craswell. He's trying to get up and around him. But all in the while, the 33 car is there. And you can see the 33 car very, very quick, closed right up to the back bumper of that 39 car. Negus wants to try and get around this 67 car. Here's a hole. He's going to try and get him down on the bottom side. The 67 going to slide up the track just a little bit. He's going to go down the lap. Negus still trying to stay on the lead lap. They cross the stripe. The leader right in behind, just starting lap number 95.
Yeah, and I don't think Brett Suggs really needs to push the situation just yet with a 2-second lead. Just over a 2-second lead all the way back to him, but he'll set himself up. He'll let Negus kind of get that distance between him and be able to build that momentum back up and find that opening. Hopefully, Negus understands the situation and doesn't cut that lead down too much for Brett Suggs, and makes the move when the move needs to be made.
And you can see on the Verdane TV scoring tower there on the left-hand side of your screen, Chris Roma has a couple of lap cars. He's going to have to try and get around here, and that marker has been right around that 2-second mark. Richard Drake, 6.5 seconds back in that 141 Lakers News ride, so a little bit of a cushion there for Roma and for Suggs, but Suggs still trying to get around that 39 car of Negus, doing everything he can to let him know that he's there. We haven't seen any kind of aggression yet out of the 33. None of the bumps into the back bumper of that 39 Ford, but you gotta wonder how much longer is Suggs gonna hold on to that back bumper. He's gonna want to get around him here pretty quick.
Yeah, we haven't started the 1, 2, 3 count tonight yet, so Negus into the outside wall there, just a little rub, and that might be just enough for Brett Suggs to say, hey, I'm here, can I have the bottom, and you let me by. I was also trying to do the math, but with Roma now in 6th, in the 38, with Richard Drake up in 3rd, there is a little bit of a points difference there, so that points battle going into this last race is going to be very tight between the top 3.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. We made mention a little bit of a programming alert off next weekend. The RBR Maritime group electing to take a week off from points rating, give everybody an opportunity to kind of blow off some steam, having a little bit of an exhibition race, getting everybody out on track to have a little bit of fun, blow off some of that speed, and then come back full focus in 2 weeks to race for that Season 6 championship. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Made mention, I'm going to try and get up in behind the wheel, depending on what that race may very well be next Wednesday night. Be able to check it out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/strictly94. Less than 50 laps to go here. Brett Suggs, your leader in that number 33 car. He's got been battling the 39 car of Negus, not so much for position. 39 car, big slide there, gets down, slows up on the bottom side of the racetrack. Brett Suggs being very, very patient in that 33 car. Much, much quicker, wants to get around him, giving him lots of room here. And you can see still about 2 seconds the gap between he and Chris Roma back there in that second spot. And you can see Negus trying to look on the bottom side of Conrad Murphy in the 89 car. Those guys are side by side for position. The 33 car in danger of putting those guys a lap down, and they're battling like they're on the lead lap. Ooh, contact.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice also the 39 of Scott Negus is running the Gen 4 Ford Taurus front nose on that. I don't know if you noticed that the headlights on the front of that car are the good old Gen 4 Ford Taurus front nose on that. But he made his way around another lap down vehicle, and I kind of figured after he'd done that he was going to move up and out of the way, and he hasn't yet. But that's also given Suggs that opportunity to kind of sit back and just run these laps down. We're 108 laps in. He's led them from the green flag. This is essentially saving without meaning to save, right? Because he's letting off a little earlier, trying not to get in the back of the 89. So he's just kind of cruising. I'm sure he's watching the scoreboard, or he's got his spotter watching and saying, listen, there's still a 2-second gap. Nobody's gaining on you. There's no point in pushing anything and causing any problems.
You can see both drivers getting down around Hayes in the 17 car. There's the opening. Brett Suggs going to try and take a peek. Negus going to hold on to it. He's going to get moved up to the high side, and there you see it. The 39 car finally going a lap down, and that 39 car very, very strong. Keep in mind, that car was battling for fifth in a 4 or 5 car battle about 20, 25 laps ago, and got a little bit of a shove there from Tully in the 50 car. Got pointed in the wrong direction. Got it straightened back out quick enough to where the caution flag didn't come out, and there you can see it. Took that long to go down a lap for the 39 car. So he's going to keep his sights set on the back bumper. He's going to try and keep up with Brett Suggs. You can see finally got some clear air on that nose, so he's going to drive off once again. You can already see picked up a half a second over that second place driver, Chris Roma. But man, oh man, Suggs on a rails in that 33 car.
Yeah, it's something we seem to mention quite often, and Brett Suggs being on rails. But we come back to the Laker News number 141 of Richard Drake has now been chased down by the 36 of Noel Fougier. And I had mentioned that earlier, that you don't want to count anybody out, and that this is just a guy that I've seen come on late in a lot of races and make the moves. He's putting the pressure on, down on the apron, getting the car to rotate right on the back bumper of the Laker News 141.
Fougier going to take that top bottom side power move out of turns 4, crosses the stripe side by side, gets down into 1, going to take that spot and drive off just a little bit. You can see a little bit of distance in between the 36 and the 141, closes it back up there on corner entry. But oh, by the way, Craig Tully wants to get up in the mix as well, currently holding on to that 5th position. He wants to try and get up on the podium. I don't think we've talked to Craig all season long here in the post-race show.
No, I don't. I think he's come by after the show and just and brought us a quick Coke or a Pepsi there and a hot dog and come and visit us. But I don't think we've actually been able to interview him on the podium on the front stretch.
You got a hot dog?
Oh, yeah, he always brings me food. He knows better than that.
Well, that's not very fair. Taking a peek down low. He's going to try and get around. Oh, no, he's going to get around Richard Drake. It almost looks like Drake kind of backed off a little bit. That 141 might very well be in conservation mode, but we also made mention earlier on, Greg Tully gaining a whole bunch of positions, tied once again for the most spots gained. He's gained 10 so far here tonight in 120 laps, 30 to go here on the docket. John Byron also still having a good run up in the top 10, running in 8th, started in 18th, so moving up towards the front there in the 87 car as well. You can see he's got his sights set right now. Dylan Black, Travis Roma, and Richard Drake all still battling for that 5th position. You can see Craig Tully pulling away just a little bit. He's got different plans. He's got about a half a second to try and catch up to Noel Fougier, and you can see that was a huge corner for the 50 car, really starting to kind of reel in that 36.
Yeah, I think that battle that we were watching back earlier of the group of cars that was back around for 5th and 6th, 7th, and I believe it was 8th position there, where these two cars were involved. And I think they were only back there for one reason only, is they were saving, because they're on the move now, and they're moving quick. And like you said earlier, the 141 may have used up a little bit of the right side tires there. Got a little push in the center. You can see him kind of arc up, and then it comes back down to the bottom. So he's got a little push, which is allowing the 38 to look below. And we saw that in 3 and 4, and the car ended up a little sideways. I think the 141 shut the door, and the 38 did a great job to stay off of him.
And that's going to be a difference in driver styles that these drivers really going to have to pay attention to. You'll know who's doing what here all season long, or all race long, rather. We've seen Brett Suggs, one of those drivers, really utilizing that apron in both ends of the racetrack. You can see John Byron going down there, at least with 2 tires. So you'll notice that these holes that these drivers up in front might be leaving, they might want to consider coming down just a little bit, because if I'm going to be all the way over on the left-hand side of the racetrack, I'm going to get down there and I'm going to try and shove this thing where it doesn't belong and maybe get myself a spot or two, try and break into that top 5.
Yeah, especially when you consider it being that could be a very big points battle towards the end of the year. So this one position in this race could make the whole difference in 2 weeks in the championship race. So it's one of those dire moments with 24 to go. This race has been green from the start. So now guys are starting to make those moves and starting to really want to move forward if they've saved enough to make those moves.
Beating and banging all race long. It was a big bang somewhere on the racetrack. I believe someone blew up down there on pit road, blew the motor. But man, oh man, racing is really starting to pick up all the way around this racetrack. And you can see these guys giving and taking all night long. Lots more take, a little bit less give. And speaking of give, how about Tully giving her all, moving on up into third. He must be watching the broadcast on his phone from the YouTube app from inside that virtual race car, because hey, he wants to get up there and earn that Turn 4 podcast post-race show interview. Yeah,
absolutely, and something I didn't think I was going to say, but Brett Suggs is about to put the 141 Laker News car down a lap, and this is something that is shocking to me, because we had that 141 car up all in the pretty much all the race. He was up in the podium position there, and just something late has gone array for that 141 car. Not for a bad night still, though. He's still up in 8th position and still could make on some moves with 19 to go.
Yeah, the 141 car dropping like a rock here the past 5 laps or so, all the way outside of the top 5. We're going to drop down to 8th, and there you see go down a lap. But once again, we keep saying going down a lap. It's not because these guys are slow. There you see the 5th, 6th, and 7th place driver. That's the battle for 5th place right there. The leader, Brett Suggs, right in behind them by a couple of car lengths. So with 18 laps to go, there's a big gap down from 1st and 2nd. Brett Suggs knows that he's got a little bit of breathing room in behind him. Doesn't have to press the issue too much, but when you've been racing an event for 130, 140 laps, you really don't want to try and back off too much, because that's not what you've practiced, and that's where you can make mistakes. And we just saw one out of Suggs. I love it when I get proven right. Up into the outside wall, the 33 car gives it a little bit of a kiss. Some sparks fly, little bit of dust, but doesn't look like it slowed him down too much. But mistakes in the last little bit here, 15 to go, going to be something we got to keep an eye on with these front runners.
Yeah, I think that's just a case of weight reduction. He's thinking the decals might weigh too much, so he's trying to rub them off the car. That's the theory I'm going to go with, because he's almost 9 seconds ahead of Roma, and I don't think much could go wrong at this point.
Well, he must be using a different sticker paper than here at Vidane TV, because the Vidane TV stickers we've got 4x4, 5x5 inches. You put them on and you start winning races. Corey Casagrande threw it on the 7CT late model last year. Went out and won his heat race at Stafford. It was great.
Well, then maybe some of these guys are going to be begging for your decal to try and catch Brett Suggs in the next in championship race.
Oh, we'll have a bunch of them at the track here this year. Stafford Speedway, going down to Waterford Speed Bowl, a bunch this year. Lots of cool stuff going on. And that big July weekend I keep talking about, because I'm excited. We're going to have a whole bunch of T-shirts and hats, and we're going to be giving stuff away here. 7 cars still on the lead lap, crossing that stripe. 10 laps to go. You're looking at him, the leader, the 33 car, Brett Suggs, trying to get around the 57 of Byron. He's been having a strong run in that 57 car. He's up in 7th right now. He's going a lap down at 33 car. He's hooked up on rails.
Yeah, I don't, like I said earlier, and I don't want to. I'm hoping there's no commentator curse, because I know he'll go back and watch the stream, but I'm not even going to say it now that he rubbed the wall. But he's having a great run, and it's impressive that the 10-second lead that he's got with 9 to go.
Travis Roma right up in front of him, second place driver in points. We made mention the points leader not making the show here tonight. Some previous engagements for Tanton Woldridge. So he's going to lose the points lead, and we thought it was going to go to the 141 of Richard Drake, but he's kind of slid back a little bit. He's out in the 8th position, and you can see the 38 car a couple of spots. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be really, really tight here in 2 weeks on Verdane TV. You're just going to have to tune in. You're going to have to tune in and watch the race with us, and we'll watch the events unfold, and we're going to crown ourselves a champion here in 2 weeks' time. But Brett Suggs, he's making it all about him and all about that 33 car. Missed a couple of races throughout the season. We made mention he's got a 5th place finish earlier on. Every other race he's won, 1st or 2nd, trying to extend that trend here. He looks up. He nods to Barney in the flag stand. 5 laps to go when he comes out of turn number 4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll have time to wave back to him at this point. A great run, and not
he could
to
wave with both
undermine
hands if he wanted to.
Probably could, and not to undermine the great run by Tully and Roma. Tully up into 2nd. I missed that pass. I don't know if you caught it early on, but Tully on the move. I think it's a little too late with only 4 to go. I don't think he can make up the 11 seconds. But a great run by Tully, great run by Roma, great run by the rest of the field, Black, Fougere, Roma. The laps down mean nothing. They've been fast all night long, and they've kept it green.
Chris Roma having some issues in that 83 car. There was one, the 08 car. Dylan Black got into the back bumper of the 83 car. Oh, there's 2. And here comes 3. Dylan Black hitting him with the old Teddy Christopher. He's going to move himself into the 3rd position with 2, count 'em, 2 laps to go. And oh, by the way, here comes the leader in behind them. Caution flies. Holy cow.
I'm speechless.
The scoring tower reset. We got 3 to go. We got ourselves a green, white, checkered. And I'm not sure why. We're going to back up the tapes here on the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. And, oh, man, this is, we're both speechless. That's the first time ever.
I mean, I was figuring this was it. We were done. I thought it was going to be just that kind of day.
Yeah, it's caution flag flies. Looks like it might have had something to do. No, that's back under caution.
I didn't see any smoke. I didn't see any cars sideways. There was some contact early on with the pass that we watched, but it was very clean. And I was about to make a comment on how the bumps were very even and square, and it was just a how do you do and hello, I'm here, and then the door was open for him. So I thought that was very well done, but the yellow's out, and that gives us a green, white, checkered.
Indeed, it does. And just trying to look through some of the notes here, some of the tapes at Verdane TV that we've got, all the technology, not able to find the reason that we're under caution here. So what we'll do is we'll dial up one of the I don't know, we won't do that. In any sense, how about this restart?
Has Brett Suggs saved enough?
That's another question. 150 laps is a long way to go on a tank of fuel. Do you have fuel left? Do you have tires left?
We just watched Tully come through the field. He was on. We were just talking about how he was on another set of rails, possibly the same ones, but maybe didn't have enough time to catch him. He's there, and he's fast. We just watched him go through the top 5 like they were standing still. So, is this Tully's opportunity to possibly get that shot at Suggs? This is just incredible.
100%. You can see the iRacing pace car going to shut the lights off. 2x2 lined up. There's 5 cars on the lead lap. Travis Roma, the last car on that lead lap. Brett Suggs is going to take the restart from down on the bottom side. First restart of the entire race. Craig Tully up on the outside lane. Chris Roma, Dylan Black, Noel Fougere, Travis Roma, the 6 cars in a line for this one. They're on the lead lap. They're going for the win. They want to try and get around that 33 car. Here we go. Coming out of turn number 4, there is the big restart from the 33, sliding the tires for Chris Roma in the 83 car. Contact between he and the 36 of Fougere. They're still side by side outside of 5th.
That was a wild start, and again, I was going to mention that the tires may have dirtied up there, and the 36 has the same situation. He gets into 3 and 4, the car just gets a push. These tires cool down, and it's a whole different car, but the 33 back out in front. Half a second lead in less than a lap. He's coming around to the checkered flag. The 33 has done it again from a huge lead to only a few seconds. Brett Suggs will be the winner of tonight's RBR Maritime race. And what an interesting finish, Paul.
100%. Even a late race green-white checker not able to slow down the 33 car. Gets the restart that he absolutely needed. He's going to get himself yet another victory here in season number 6 for the RBR Maritime Group, and we will take a look at the feature results. Blammo on your screen right now. Suggs, Tully, and Black. How about Craig Tully? You made mention driving up through the field there. Late race charge for the boss man in the 50. Season best finish for second. Dylan Black with a monster move in the 08 car. Finishing in at third. Noel Fougere, Chris Roma rounding out the top 5. Travis Roma right in behind him. 6 cars on the lead lap. Points are going to be tight heading into this final race in 2 laps. But man, oh man, what a phenomenal finish here. And are you down there in Victory Lane? Are you down there with our I don't know, I'm still looking, not quite looking for, we're looking for Brett Suggs. Don't quite see him just yet.
He's too busy. He's too busy doing donuts and getting hot dogs.
That's what it is, too. He better bring us some hot dogs. I don't know. Pulled pork sandwich or something. I don't know. But man, oh man, it's a great race throughout the evening. Just waiting for these drivers to get out of the car and get hooked up, and we'll talk to these drivers here on the Turn 4 podcast post-race show. And there we go. We see Brett Suggs pulling in to Victory Lane, and just like that, we'll get all this internet stuff figured out. Pulling into Victory Lane with that 33 car. Always doing one of those cool little drift moves around the second and third place drivers there on track. But you're down there on the start-finish line, Victory Lane. Ashton, take it away with Brett Suggs.
Yeah, I'm down here with Brett Suggs as he climbs out of the car. Another big race, another big win. It seems like every time you show up to the RBR Maritime Series, you're a front runner. It's good to see you back. How was that one? You had a huge lead, and it seemed to go away with 3 to go.
Yeah, man, we were kind of just biding our time, and then right around 10 to go, I felt like I could push it a little bit harder. But I was not excited to see that yellow for a green-white checkered, I'll tell you that.
One of those situations that real world, virtual world, the tires cool down, and right away, first thing that comes to mind has to be the tire spin, and who do you have on your outside? Craig Tully came from far back in the field, and we were talking about him slowly biting into your time, but not having enough time, and then he was there on the outside. Did you have any information about that?
Yeah, I had one of my good buddies, Shane Williamson, on the box, kind of telling me where everybody was running, what lap times people were running, the pace I needed to be pushing at. So, I saw, looking at my timing box, that Tully had worked his way up, and he was into second at that point, and he was running some pretty quick laps. So when we got that caution, I knew that I started to use it up a little bit much there those last 20 laps, and I was hoping that we'd have just enough left in them tires and in the tank to hang on to it.
Absolutely, and I got to bring up the restarts because it seems like every restart you do, you seem to pull a new rabbit out of the hat. What's your strategy when it comes to a late restart like that?
I mean, just hope for the best. I can't really give it all away, but just hope that we can keep the tires under us and keep going forward.
I figured you were going to try and at least give one secret away to throw the guys off, give them the opposite of what you usually do, right? So,
full mat.
Right. Once again, it's awesome to see you in Victory Lane. The championship points are getting really tight. You'll be up in the top 5, maybe pull off a win in 2 weeks, or are you going to be in the real race car off doing the fun stuff?
I know I won't make the season finale. I'm not sure if that's what the next race is, but I won't make it for that. I'll actually be in Texas that week. So yeah, it was kind of a shame. We had a pretty good points lead, and then I missed last week when I was in New York. So just a little bit of traveling here and there for the real job caused me to kind of take some time off from iRacing, but glad to hop back on this week with a brand new late model stock that just came out yesterday. I was turning a bunch of laps on that thing and had a really good time doing it. So I'm looking forward to racing that some more and hopefully running some more leagues when timing allows.
Awesome. And same question we always like to ask, because there's a lot of people that help you get to the virtual world, to the real world, and who helps you get there?
Yeah, definitely, man. We've got a big opportunity this coming weekend with TH Motorsports, make my first race in the Cars Tour at Southern National. So really looking forward to that. Really appreciative of that opportunity we have there with them, as well as Coltman Farms Racing for supporting their whole operation over there. A lot of our partners that we've got with Brett Suggs Racing Marketing, we've got Lake Norman Power Cleaning, McConey Setup Shop, everybody at Racer Tees, Team Jones Race Development, Racing America, and we're actually going to have our vlogs on the Racing America 24/7 channel. I haven't even announced that to the mainstream public yet, but I thought that was pretty cool and wanted to share with you guys. So looking forward to that and appreciate all their support.
Awesome. And good luck in the real world. Good luck in the Cars Tour. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you around.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I also want to give a shout out to you guys, everybody at RBR, all the league sponsors, everybody that helps put this deal on.
Awesome. All right, Paul, I think you got the next, I don't know, victim or I guess we won't call them victims because they're on the front row.
Yeah, gonna get real close to this guy. He's got that tinted visor. Gonna lift the visor up. It is indeed Craig Tully, still behind the wheel. That 50 car. Toso Electric on the hood. 12 spots gained from that 14th place qualifying effort. Craig, great to talk to you here on the post race show.
Finally got the interview. I'm gonna crack
Finally.
it. Listen.
There it is. All right, beers and hot dogs. Hey, Ashton was saying you got hot dogs last time. You got me a hot dog, right?
I'll have to see what the boys are gonna do in the infield there.
That's all right. We'll stop over at Parkside Pub Smokehouse. I want some of those tater tot poutine. We'll get down with that. But man, great race here tonight. Huge effort in that 50 car. Talk to us. Was Langley? Was this circled on the schedule?
I do enjoy this track. I know a lot of the guys in our group didn't really enjoy it. Honestly, we do a practice race every Monday, and I've been missing them. And then for some random reason, I went this Monday, and I learned a lot. Like when you're pushing the pace out front, you burn it up really, really fast here. So I said my plan was to start mid-pack, but it's always hard to like kind of control that. The racer kind of takes over and you want to go. But I got kind of tapped in my heat, so it put me right where I really wanted to start. And I think it really helped because, you kind of keep pace with some of the, a little bit back of the pack guys, and it really, really helped. The car was turning great right up until the end, really.
Yeah, and making back to the 150 lappers on the same set of tires all race long really kind of showed who was able to save what they needed for the end of this one. And the 50 car coming home with a good showing, and kind of looking towards the future here just a little bit. We got the fireworks going off in the background at Langley. Pretty cool to see here in the iRacing service. iRacing making some big announcements here this week with the Gen 4 car on the Cars Tour late model. Is that something we might see here, RBR Season 7?
I really.
I don't put you on the spot.
I've been in the car. Haven't raced it yet. I've just done a couple tests on it. I got to race it, and I got to see what it does, like with a pack of guys. I know I watched one of Brett's races, and it seemed like it was good. So, but I don't know. I'm still a fan of the Super. I know some of the guys. I mean, this season's a really good testament of these guys can drive these cars, and everybody. Like, these are tricky cars to drive, and we just went, I don't know how many, 148 laps or something crazy, like under green at a really tricky track. So, I mean, I enjoy the power. The new late model, you can definitely tell it's underpowered a little bit, but it is fun. I heard some guys say it's the most realistic car they've driven on iRacing. So, we'll have to see. We gotta test it. With that, though, next week, we have to take the week off. Our main admin is away, so I definitely don't want to have the finale with the main admin gone. So we're going to take the week off, but I think I'm going to host a late model race. So we're going to actually, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll announce it on Facebook. Anybody's welcome. There might even be a sponsor and a little bit of prize money involved. And if you guys want to hop on board, great. I'll let you know on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep our ears open. I might actually pull the old steering wheel out for that one. We'll see what's going on next Wednesday night. But lots of cool stuff going on. Great solid run here for the number 50 car. Awesome race. One caution late here in this one. Craig, we know you don't do it alone. Who makes it happen here for you for the league and for that 50 team?
Yeah, Tulco Electric on the car and Roma Brothers Racing and the whole team, the guys. It's fun coming on here with them. Parkside Pub for sponsoring the event. Brent, he doesn't get much credit, but I mean, who wants to come on here and babysit, 20 some guys? So he does a great job. You guys for hosting it. It's great to watch it afterwards. So, it's fun to come on here and do something midweek to break the week up. So thanks a lot.
Absolutely. And thanks for putting on a hell of a show here for us on Tuesday nights here the past couple of months, and looking forward to the championship race here in 2 weeks and on to the next season. We'll see what that all brings. But a solid run here tonight. Good race, and getting ready to cap off the season here in 2 weeks. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, guys.
And that's really going to wrap things up here for us. Want to get everything buttoned up, get everything back in the truck, and shoot on over to the, I don't know if there's a virtual Parkside Pub Smokehouse, but I'm telling you, tater tot poutine. If I make it up to Canada and there's not a plate of tater tot poutine waiting for me, Ashton, I'd be a little bit upset.
We'll make sure there's something arranged, and next time I'm out that way, which might even be next week sometime, I'll make sure to snap a quick picture of the tater tot poutine, and I'll send it over your way just to rub it in that extra little bit more.
Oh, you and me are fighting when I get up there. I can't wait. It's going to wrap things up.
Before or after the poutine?
Well, after, maybe.
All
I don't know. We'll play it by ear. Going to wrap things up here for us tonight. RBR Maritime Group in the books. Championship race here in 2 weeks' time. Championship season as well for the NEP Group. They are racing tomorrow night. Xfinity cars at Stafford Motor Speedway. Championship season in the air as well. Back at us Tuesday night, Verdane TV, Liberty Racing going to be racing their round of 8 championship knockout race. They don't have 3 races to knock people out. They're knocking the slowest 4 guys out of that race for that championship hunt. That's going to be wild. And then we heard next week, going to be running a little exhibition race at some point here for the RBR Group. We'll see what goes down. But in the meantime, we will catch you on the flip side when we do. We are going to be doing it live.